So to begin every Earthbound run, we have a 1 minute and 8 second cutscene. So I call it the last minute bio break before any Earthbound run. So if you guys have forgot a snack or a drink, this is a great time to do it because our runners will be going hard and fast in the paint on this tournament bracket. I'll get down to some of the basics of Earthbound at the very beginning. First of all, our runners are going to try and go fast. You know, that's every speed game. And there's certain tech to do it. Whether it's quickly menuing, adequate mashing, or movement, you've got it all in Earthbound.
You will definitely see a lot of these runners using cardinal directions, which was found by Uko. How's it going, Mr. RNG? How are you today? So you see the runners heading into Tracy's room to get our first weapon of the game.
The crack bat. It's kind of garbage, but we need it to continue the game, so the runners grab it early as opposed to later. Because it's quick and easy to grab it right as soon as you leave the room at the very beginning. Now, each time the runners bonk on their travels, they essentially lose 1 second. And this is where optimal movement kind of comes into fact, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to glide off the walls as much as possible while still menuing, not overmashing, and not bonking.
Each bonk loses you about, I think, exactly 1 second. I'm not too sure. I think Caillou can tell you more about that.
Yeah, it's 1 second. It's mainly because, let's just say, that's a couple minutes of my run right there.
Same with mine. I get stuck on those subpixels.
So yeah, next thing is mashing. There are 2 different types of mashing in this game. You have yes mashing and no mashing. Yes mashing is done with the A and L buttons, or your appropriate if you've got binds for them, or your B and select buttons is your no mashing. You'll see most of these runners use a combination of the 4 or 2 or 3, depending on what kind of input they're trying to do, because they're trying to menu as quickly as possible while still saying yes or no to the certain prompts that will come up during text boxes.
So here's everybody's favorite neighbor in the world, Pokey.
I'm a bigger fan of Picky myself. But we've got to go help him find his brother Picky, which, you know, it's a good quest to start off the game. Now, as soon as we leave the house, we're going to run into spawn tiles. There's 3 different spawn tiles on the way up to the meteorite. There are spooky snakes, don't step on snake, which can be stuttered. There are crows, which are swoopers, which they move right and left on their way any way they try and go, either up, down, left, right. They'll always swoop in one direction at a time and alternate between the 2. And then there's doges. The dogs will run just straight at you. So. Now, most of the time, you're just trying to get these spawns stuck on tiles as much as possible, so get them stuck on trees. There is a 100% spawn tile on the way up here, as proven right there. Looks like Ultimoice setting up for a stutter and a stick. It's good.
JT had a little despawn right there. Looks like he's got a troublesome dog on the way.
The crow, though, that's a good spot for there, because if you move fast enough, you can get that crow stuck on the wall before he can have a chance to turn around. Now, ideally with these spawn tiles, you're trying to move just far enough to despawn the enemy, but not reactivate any other spawn tiles in the same area. So if you get some of the deeper spawn tiles, what you can do is go for the optimal despawn and hope you get lucky.
And it looks like both runners have made it up to the hill with no battles going on.
F30 is pretty good, actually, getting up to Meteor. Considering they didn't have to go for many despawns either. So yeah, once we get our friend Buzz here, all the spawn tiles on the way up to the meteorite have been despawned. There's no spawn tiles on our way down. The runners will grab a very important item, the red roll, on their way down, and then we'll go into our first boss. So the first boss is going to have a couple different attacks. He can be on guard, he can do a fire attack, and he can also do a freeze attack. Now, ideally, you want to see pretty much, if you're going to see an attack, you want to see freeze. It's fast, it's quick, it's easy. Buzz will always alternate between putting up a shield and attacking. This fight is categorized in the amount of times Buzz needs to attack Starman to proceed. What you want to do is you want to see guards on turns that Buzz is shielding, and typically you want to see a freeze or something like that on the turns that Buzz is attacking, so Buzz can do as much damage as possible.
We definitely do not want to see a fire beta. It is the longest with text.
But yes, Starman Jr. has a total of 200 health, so you're basically wanting to see Buzz do over 100 on each attack. That's a good start.
Ulti, Starman down at 731. That's a very good Starman.
Jeez. So, Pokezad's gonna go discipline the boys, while Lardna over here notices that we have a friend above our head and decides to slap a fly. You want to get your not like bees in for Rip Buzz, this is your chance to do it.
JT down with Starman at 836. Still a very good time. This is a long run, so anything can happen.
That's just a definition of RNG kind of deciding how much of a fight it is, as they got into those fights relatively similar times. You must have had like a 4 or 5 rounder. So on their way down to Onet proper, they've got the same set of enemies that they can deal with, but they'll make a quick pit stop before going down to Onet proper. And that is to the secret treehouse to get the Mr. Baseball Cap. Mr. Baseball Cap is the best kind of defensive item that we could have at this point, but instead what we're going to be doing is selling the item so we could get a increase in stat gain by buying 2 cheaper items.
We take our best friend's cherished item and sell it right for money.
So at this point, the Ness is going to be grabbing up a couple different items. He'll be grabbing the T-ball bat, the baseball cap and the cheap bracelet and selling the Mr. Baseball cap.
You saw Ulti equip the Mr. Baseball cap. That's to actually speed up the process, because when he buys the baseball cap, it'll go straight to, do you want to sell your Mr. Baseball hat? Very quick shopping there for Ulti.
Now, they take this kind of weird route going down near the hospital on their way down to the game store to despawn all the sharks outside, all the random sharks. I don't think Ultimo cares for bits on this Pogo Punk. Typically, the safe way of approaching these Pogo Punks is if they charge forward, especially that first one, you're typically going to want to heal just because that way you can just bash it out. But you just basically don't want to see the Pogo Punk charge forward, you just want to see him fall down all the time. And these first two Pogo Punks are guaranteed to drop hamburgers. This is very crucial going into the next fights. The Yes Man Junior, you're going to need to just, say no to him, because if you say yes, he'll say, hey, come back after you beat Earthbound. And he's the last thing before we fight Frank. Now, Frank has 4 different things he can do. He can be on guard. He can say something nasty, which lowers our guts. He can use a light attack, and he can also brandish his knife. Knife's the most dangerous one as it's a heavy attack. But the rule for Frank and pretty much all the early bosses is if you take damage, you're going to want to heal.
JT surviving the first Pogo Punk.
And Ultimo showing off the rolling health mechanic right there on the Frank fight. Frankie Stein is pretty much scripted for the first 3 fight turns. He's always going to use a burst of steam first, followed by his light attack, followed by another burst of steam, and then he can either do light attacks or heavy attacks at that point. He'll always alternate between that and a burst of steam. So traditionally what you're going to do is just try, what I try and do at least, is just try and bash through him as fast as I can. Sometimes you can get him down before his second attack. But if you're relatively low, you'll typically want to either heal on the steam turn before his second attack or on the actual second attack if you're still high enough.
And JT's getting ready to start Frank. We definitely do not want to see Ness missing here, but unfortunately Ness does seem to miss a lot. It's one of those mechanics that we have to work around.
I don't know, maybe you should just take Jeff's glasses. Seems like he could use them more.
Or maybe he could use the missing contact lens.
So after defeating Frank and Frankie Stein, typically what you're going to do is you're going to heal up because Frank's a bro. And everyone knows he didn't like that robot anyways. So he's going to give you a free heal, and he's going to restore your psychic points. Then they'll go down and talk to Mayor Pickle, who's totally not stopping us from going up to Giant Stuff. There may or may not be a locked door in the way, but he seemed to have lost the key. Some kid might have grabbed it. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to stock up on hamburgers, which means they're going to hit the ATM for money first. Stock up on hamburgers before they go up, because those hamburgers are to come in very crucial for the rest of O-Net and Giant Step.
And JT's making it out of the arcade as well. No death so far. This is a good run.
And that really says something for the game in general. We fought the first boss in the speedrun, and the big caveat that we've taken away is there's been no deaths so far. Game wants to kill you when it wants to kill you. Now, Ultimoice is heading into the grind. Our runners are looking for 22 total slugs on their fight. Slugs each have 30 health, so basically for these first couple ones, you're gauging to see how much attack that you have, to see if you can just auto-fight them. If you have any ones that you swing for less than 30, you're going to typically want to take off auto-fight and just bash the one, because otherwise auto-fight could spread your attacks out, making grind take long.
It looks like Ulti's having a little bit of trouble finding his first pack of slugs as well. He's went to the first floor a couple times and no luck. There's the first pack of 2.
I'll count for Nori if you count for Ulti. Again, proving how much RNG comes down to these spawns and trying to get good times for your grind section. It can cause wild swings, as there are a couple different techniques that you can use for this. You can do all your grinding on the first floor, which is kind of the easiest way to do it. It's the safest way, especially if you're new. You will find at max packs of 4 down here, and the other mobs that tend to spawn during this main floor section, not in the cave, are mice. And mice count as 1, but they take a lot longer to kill, and they're a little bit more dangerous since they've got guts up the wazoo, which means they like to crit you. JT getting the unlucky single slug fight there. Those two much have gotten stuck on something.
But pretty good stutter steps right there.
So both of these runners are trying to grind up to 8. 8 is when you get your first offensive psychic attack, the Rockin'. It is one of the few psychic attacks that can miss, because it is based off of speed. JT showing off cave strats, which is another way of doing it if you're feeling unlucky with your back and forths.
Ulti having a little trouble with that mouse spawn right there. He's went back 3 or 4 times and it looks like he can't get away from it.
Now, there's multiple strats. I'm sorry, I stopped on that conversation earlier. The fastest strat is to get, if I remember right, 16 on the first floor, then get 4 on your way up, and then get a 6-pack on the 3rd floor. You can also get 20 on the first floor, 6 on the 3rd floor, or you can get pretty much all 22 on your way on the first floor. Both of these runners will probably try and use psychic points to heal for the first bit, because they're going to get a guaranteed butterfly, well, 95% chance of the butterfly that they will respawn if they don't get it, on their way into Titanium Gant. That will refill their psychic points, so typically what you want to try and do is save as many hammers as possible for Giant Step and beyond. The other thing is these runners are looking for is once they get level 8, they're also going to check to see what their offense is. They're ideally looking for an offense of 24, which is, again, why buying the bat is important. In addition, because it counts toward that. Because at 24, they can auto-fight single Antoids and instant win. That auto-fight instant win mechanic only works if you take a normal encounter with the enemy or a surprise encounter. If they get the ambush in, you can never auto-win. Doesn't matter if it's the weakest enemy in the game, you can't auto-win.
And Ulti first to reach level 8, and it looks like he checked his stats there. I might have missed it, but I'm not too sure if he has 24 offense. I think he might have the 23.
Should become very apparent if he gets a single Antoid in like the connector cave to the rope. From the looks of it, he probably has 23. Ultimo is going into the first sand fight, where the strategy is going to be rocking at the very beginning to get rid of the 2 Antoids in the back, and you're hoping for a good roll on the Titanic Ant himself. 72 is not terrible. The Titanic Ant has a total of 235 hit points. So if you're paying attention, you can kind of count out how much he takes. I do like JT strategy here of if he gets the 6 Antoids, he's just going to rock, and it's way faster to grab 2 Butterfly than to try and bash out a fight with a 6-pack.
And it looks like Ulti survived the fight with a sub 24 Ant, but he did use a lot of burgers, so he will definitely have to make a trip back to the shop to buy a few more burgers for the upcoming cops.
JTNoriMaki got the 24, but unfortunately there was a ninja ant. There were 2 of them hiding underneath there.
Those ninja ants in that last cave definitely come out of nowhere sometimes.
Which means he's got a little bit less going into that.
He also has a cookie in his inventory, so he needs to be wary of that as well.
Well, that's good. An 85 roll. Very nice on that first rocket.
So Ulti has made it out of the cave. He's going to get stopped by a cop that's going to say, "Can you not read? The sign says, do not enter."
And Nori's through Ant as well.
Very good run from the runners.
It is not uncommon to have a death already in the run, in all of these race runs. Ant had a lot of open turns with both of them, but it did want to use shields very early on. Now, for the cops, we've got 4 cops that we're going to have to fight. And these cops can do 2 attacks, a standard attack and a crushing chop. In addition, the cops can also have a very low chance to drop a hamburger.
We definitely want to see the cops do a regular attack instead of the crushing attack, because anytime their HP drops below 50, we definitely want to burger up.
Typically, anytime I say in the 50s is when you should use burger. If you get down to about 30s, mid-30s, I would recommend lifing up. And that kind of ruins the strategy of double rocking against strong. If you have to, heal too many times because the cops are just coming after you. But ideally, what you want to do is start each cop fight at a pretty high HP value, because that way you can go out there and see if you could potentially just, one hit them with a nice smash.
We would also like it if Ness didn't outspeed every single cop, but unfortunately, sometimes that's what he likes to do. So it looks like Ulti's done with Cop 3. He's moving on to Cop 4, where he'll get to have a nice surprise with Cop 5.
Yeah, I think it was his lunch break, right?
I believe so. I think he's gotta leave,
I mean, heck, it would want to be my lunch break if you see a kid put down that many hamburgers.
I wonder what Ness actually likes on his hamburger. I wonder if he likes mayo, like D-Rock.
You mean the only appropriate thing to put on a hamburger? Put ketchup on a hamburger. You put ketchup on a hamburger, we're not friends.
How about mustard?
We're okay with mustard. In fact, in my opinion, the best thing is a little mustard, little mayo, and a lot of cracked black pepper.
Top it off with a nice pickle.
Oh, there we go. With some bacon, too?
Sounds like we got ourselves a lunch date. When Ulti survives Cap Strong, and now you're going to see Ulti do a setup. He's going to draw all the money that he has out in the Tucson department store, call Dad, and that's the setup with Death Warp after he saves Paula.
JT getting through strong. Very nice.
a very respectable 35 as well.
Getting out of Onet around that half-hour mark, that you're on a good pace, just straight up. It means you've not taken a death, most likely. And the enemies haven't been too trolly to you. And you're also sufficient at your menu.
So we're going to see Ulti give away one burger, and he's going to give a random inventor, the Apple Kid, $200 because, you know, we like to take risk in the market.
I know, the man seems like he's pretty competent.
I mean, I do like oranges over apples, though.
It depends. Do you have champagne?
Not tonight. Also, you're going to see Ulti grabbing 2 butterflies on the way through PRV, and this is just to get his his PP back.
Now, during these connector caves, you just don't want any spawns. Definitely don't want to get pincered either. The cave is too small to get around the enemies, so if there's any enemy in there, you just gotta despawn them. Unless you're gonna take the fight, which I would never recommend. Now, both the runners are going to come up here and spawn the pencil in a memory, even though technically you're not. I've been told that. But you're gonna get that pixel where you've gotten to check a flag to say, hey, Apple Kid, do what you should be doing already. The good news is our investment is bearing dividends very quickly. I'll be honest, though. These runners are going over into Berglund Park. And in Berglund Park, there is a friend in Berglund Park that we can go talk to. But these runners will not be doing it. That friend is Everdred, as he is one of the few skippable boss encounters in this game. I wish that one of these racers, they'd get a gentleman agreement to fight Everdred on their way to Apple Kid one of these times. I think that'd be kind of fun.
It would definitely have to be after or before they grab all their money out, though, because we definitely don't want to see them lose any money.
Yeah, no. But it would be a neat thing to do as a gentleman's agreement. If they both had to fight Everdred. They'd have to beat Everdred, but they had to fight Everdred.
That would make things a lot more interesting, too. And probably slow up the...
Of course it'd be slower, but it'd be for the fun.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, too, for Boogie Tent, when you level up as well, you wouldn't level up as much as well.
It certainly makes some fights easier. And I apologize for everyone I triggered. A gentle person's agreement.
Maybe they should make that for the finals, that you have to fight Everdred.
Now in PRV, the land of pincers, pain, salt, tears, enemies that move erratically. There's a lot of dangerous enemies out here. The most dangerous being the territorial oaks. But those UFOs are darn scary as well, because they are fast.
And you also want to avoid the diamonds, which are the spinning robos, because they can give you a cold.
Basically, all enemies in PRV are not fun enemies. It's common theme for the rest of the game. So, Ultimo going through the O's Komodo cave, where we hope that no runner steps on Snake, because don't step on Snake. And then you get the one snake that really wants to give you a boop with its snoot. And you're like, hello, friend. And you're like, I know, but now you are your own grave. In Peaceful Rest, in Happy Village, they're going to grab a couple items. They're going to grab an improvement to their bat. They're also going to grab the Holmes hat. There's an alternate strategy that you can use, which is the hard hat strat, where there's a hard hat in PRV where you can get it. So you get an additional 5 defense opposed to the Holmes hat. However, you have to fight a bunch of PRV spawns, so I mean that's on you. Now Ultimo is heading over to the shack. And in both Happy Village and those caves there can be cultist spawns. And due to the fact that there's, a scripted fight in the near future, all enemies flagged as a cultist are unrunnable fights. Cultists are very scary because they like to call for help.
I've made the mistake of green swirling a cultist when I was first playing and tried to run and could not figure out why I could not get away.
Now, the interesting thing is, during this section that Nori's going through right now, he chose to go the bottom route. You can actually go either the bottom or the top route through this particular loop over here, down to this ramp. Both of them will get you there. So, if you're struggling trying to get a way down to the bottom route, unfortunately gets the spinning robo and a surprise. Very dangerous, very erratic enemies.
Ulti looks like he makes it out of the shack fight relatively unharmed.
Now again, you can get cultist spawns here, and Janet, the blonde in front of the cultist convention center, loves to block that entrance. The worst thing that you can have is if you go for it and try and get to the cultist church, and Janet just will not get out of your way, and there's a cultist streaming for you, and you have to run around, and basically at that point, Yakety Sax starts playing. Ultimo in the cultist fight. Worst thing that you can have is, okay, so we didn't get a block party, so looks like Ultimo got through both of the cultist fights without getting block party, which is always great, because a cultist block party don't stop until they surf the Kool-Aid.
Ulti took a quick heal there. It looks like he wasn't in the range to stay alive just in case Carpenter hit for 50.
Now, the Car Painter is a very scripted fight, and he gets the one turn. Wow. What is this RNG?
Now let's see what he decides to do once he picks up Hala. If he decides to do a mole death warp, or if he decides to go for the PRV death warp.
I want to make a point here. Carpenter loves to use his lightning attack. You have a 25% chance to reflect it. On that point, you also have to roll well on your rocket. That is an insane Carpenter.
Do you happen to know the percentage of what a double rocket is on first turn?
No, because I don't have the calculations in front of me. I could do it if I had the calculations. I'd have to ask somebody like Hunter for them. Because I'd also have to know the exact RNG of the damage range from a reflected lightning attack. He has basically 262 health, so you need a strong reflected lightning, which is a 25% chance to even get the lightning. And then you also need to hit with your rocket and roll well. So we're looking at an insanely low percentage at that point.
We see Ulti take a left at the shack, because if he would move down at all, he would trigger a Fuzzy Pickle photo spawn plate.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I learned during my race. So I always went around to the left until I had an opening to the going down during one of my tournament races.
And it looks like he decides to go with the Mole Death Warp. Let's see how that goes out for him.
During this Mole Death Warp, what you're going to do is you're going to have Ness use the ATM card, and then you're going to want Paula to bash the Mole, because the Mole will like to make himself go confused. And by having Paula bash the Mole, which does 1 damage, it knocks him out of confusion, which speeds up the Mole Death Warp. So ideally what you want to see is the Mole killing off Ness first, and then kill Paula.
And the Mole, being the friend that he is, likes to miss a lot. Looks like he's missed 3 times on this battle for Ulti. But still comes away with a pretty good Death Warp.
Now going back to Nori's Carpenter fight, it's very important that you typically just want to go ham with all of your psychic points, trying to dump in as many rockets as you can during the first couple turns, because you have until turn 4 to get rid of all of your psychic points. You don't ever really want to use Psy Heal to heal during that, especially don't want to do it on lightning turns, because of the interactions with the Franklin badge, where it will negate the Franklin badge reflect, and it will also stop the healing. So it's just not good to do. So when in doubt on Carpenter, use hamburgers. Or croissants. Croissants.
Now you're going to see Ulti stop by the Blues Brothers to get the backstage pass now that he has Paula. He's going to head back down to Paula's dad, where he's been crying and crying because he lost his daughter.
Do you blame the man, though?
I mean, you can't. It's funny that the mom she doesn't seem worried. She's just like, she'll be fine.
Now, after that, talking to Paula's dad, we're going to meet our friend Iverdread. In my opinion, he's still a friend. Sometimes he wants to fight us, but he's just a rival. Because anybody gives us $10,000 is a good friend in my book. What about you?
I mean, it's a free $10,000 because better question is, where did you get the money, and why is he giving it to a 13-year-old kid?
Hey, he knows we're going to go to a sick concert and make it rain.
So you're going to see Ulti go up and left right at the wall there, and that's to avoid another photo trigger, I believe, as well?
Yes, there is a photo trigger right outside of the Chaos Theater. So there's two ways to doing it. You can either go around to the right, and most runners, when they come out, they'll try and go around to the left after the Runaway 5 show. Now, if I remember right, the Runaway 5 show is a minute and 10 seconds long, but I always want to time it.
So this is definitely a quick bathroom break for the runners. Get a drink of water, get a little snack in your system. This would be the first break of the game.
Earthbound has a lot of input breaks in the game. Some shorter, some longer. You got your choices, even some longer bathroom breaks if you really need to take care of some business. So you've got your choices, like the 3-minute waterfall in the glitchless encounter. You've got your Skyrunner sequences. There's some good breaks. So if you're looking for a speed run, an RPG style longer speed run, this is a great game to pick up if you have issues like, oh, I'd love to play a long RPG, but I don't want to sit down and be sitting there religiously trying to get this thing done for 4, 6, 8 hours. This is a great game to pick up. It's between that sweet spot between 4 hours and 6 hours, depending on your skill level. It's got input breaks spread out through the entire game. You got time to kind of get up, get snacks, take care of the business, get drinks, move around. Good game for an entry-level person trying to get into RPG speedrunning. Not only that, it has a great shorter category, which is this Boogie percent, where it's similar. The similar value would be looking at something like Final Fantasy's Paladin percent.
This is a great category to get a feel for the game, to see if it's for you or not.
You'll get exposed to a lot of the tech, the rolling health bar, the stuttering, the menuing, the mashing. So, lots of exposure to it.
Definitely don't forget that RNG.
Yep, it's a game that makes every run unique, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I've watched enough speedruns of EB to know that no run is the same.
Not only that, is if you're interested, they do weekly races of Earthbound, glitchless, unmanipulated, on Sundays afternoons. It's typically between 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. And there's a lot of people from the community entering it in. If you're interested, make sure you pop in one of them. Say hi. Say, hey, what's up? What's this game? I'm interested. The community is very welcoming, loves to explain stuff.
Definitely have a lot of experienced runners that do these races.
And a lot of the major runners like to be in a Discord with each other, kind of stating progress or deaths or forfeits. So, great community that kind of sticks together.
Hi, Tori. How are you doing? As long as you're not a Boston fan, then I'm okay, Chaplain.
Are you trying to out-meme me?
Doing my best.
So, our kids are kind of weird. First thing they want to do as soon as they get into a new city is go check out the graveyard because it's super spooky. And then afterwards, you're going to follow a woman of questionable character into a hotel room.
She's a very nice lady.
I hear she's holding a swinging party. After attending that party and getting a roofie, we find ourselves locked in a basement somewhere, and we need to call out to the only friend we could get.
Now, this person that they are about to call is kind of has a mixed opinion with some of the runners.
So I've got to ask you, what's your opinions on this character?
I am a big fan of Sir Jeff.
See, and I personally believe that trash RNG can't hit anything is going to die to protoplasms all day for me. And then miss his bottle rocket and his BBR and roll low. And then force me to use bomb strats and cry.
I think I've just been lucky to not have that type of RNG yet. But once I do, maybe my opinion will change. But for now, I am definitely a Jeff fan.
Now, before we leave the boarding house, what we need to do is actually get some decent equipment because it's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And you have to grab one of either you have to grab the defensive item or you have to grab the weapon. It will not let you leave without grabbing at least one of those.
Which, to be fair, you've got Jeff. He needs all the help he can get. And the items are a pop gun and a home set. So Jeff has to get the defensive item from 3 cities in.
JT looks like he's stepping off the jazzy party bus. He's getting ready to head to the graveyard as well.
Well, it's more of Jeff's speed is also pretty bad, and all of his kind of weaponry is based off of speed. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some people that like Jeff, and there's some people that definitely do not like Jeff.
But there is somebody that everyone hates, and that's the person we're just about to get, Bubble Monkey.
I mean, he cost you $1 already to join the party. That's not a nice friend.
Bubble Monkey by a long shot. Jeff can do useful things. When in doubt, Bubble Monkey's going to wreck her up. Notice I use the operative word can, but still. Ultimoice showing off that particular spawn plate where you saw the crow earlier is actually a 100% spawn right there. So what they do is they go down there, they get a favorable spawn on their way down, despawn it. Once you get below that particular spawn plate, it doesn't become 100% anymore, and then they can go past it. So afterwards, we're going to get some stew, and this is a point where people will decide whether or not how fast they want to go, because you can throw away the defensive spray to save a text box, or you can use it for extra shots later. Say you have a death tent or whatnot. It's good to hold on to if you want a little extra safety. And then we get to meet the very best friend of the game. Okay, chat, you guys know what to do. It's time up to load up the lock. Let's see those MS babies.
And you saw Ulti go up there, and that's to avoid another photo trigger right there. You move up slightly just to avoid it.
I still love Ms. Crash's Tessie hunting Tyros. Because she's, Tessie provides steaks for the family.
Why couldn't we get Tessie? Why do we have to have Bubble Monkey?
Because Tessie's OP. We all know that.
The true hero of Earthbound?
Yes. All I know is Tessie doesn't cost us Tree Fitty to ride her over.
And once Tessie goes off screen, you're going to see Ulti make a very precise movement. And that's to make sure that the spawn plate doesn't spawn a goat right underneath that tree right there.
That's because Jeff is not ram tough. Basically, by bumping that specifically, I believe I was told once it causes a off by 1 category for that 100% spawn plate. That's specifically why they do it. So they specifically go down to that corner to cause that off by 1. And that allows them to get by it 100% of the time.
And now we get to see Ulti start off the battle with the hardest enemy in Earthbound. And it is the hardest enemy in Earthbound because the protoplasm causes a lot of death in this run. It looks like he's trying to set up a duck skip. If that duck could move left a little bit, Ulti could drag him down, and then he'd have a free walk to the next proto.
Unfortunately, could not get the second proto skip because Bubble Monkey. As what they try and do is they basically move back and forth to get Bubble Monkey on the trace movement, because Bubble Monkey moves in spurts. He'll follow you for a bit, and then what will happen is he'll forget what the heck he's doing, stop, scratch his head, and then screw up whatever you're trying to do for stutters or movement past. But then we'll go into Pond Cave afterwards, where there's a lot of the same enemies that we saw in Giant Steps. There's your rats, there's your slugs, there's your shrooms. And we really don't want to fight them. If we're going to fight any of them, we can fight the slugs because, again, we got a little bit more stats than Nest did at this point with our equipment. And we can fight the slugs relatively easily if you need to fight one of them. But you ideally don't want to fight any of them just because it's slow. And then after we get through these couple cave rooms, we'll reach the end of Pond Cave and the end of the worst segment of the game, in my opinion. But on JTNoriMaki's side, we have the second coming of our Lord and Spazer, Tessie. So if you guys want to show a little bit more hype the last time we're going to see Tessie during this race, please do so. May Tessie bless our souls.
Looks like Ulti has one more spawn plate he has to avoid. And this is up the 2 ropes. There's a spawn plate for mushrooms to come around. He does not want to get into a fight with any of these mushrooms.
Now, Ultimo is heading through Stonehenge, where there are cave boys around. There's also a photo trigger in the middle, so if you're trying to get through this section cleanly, do be aware of that. Probably the worst thing that you can do during this section is try and hug it too close to avoid a cave boy, hit the photo trigger, get ambushed by a cave boy, and then have to redo all of Pond Cave. It has happened before, and it is not fun. it is incredibly rage-inducing. Now, Jeff is going to see his estranged father for the first time in 10 years. He's going to offer us a donut, then send us on his way with his old invention, the Skyrunner. Now, it's very important. This is kind of the first longer input break in the game. But what you want to do is make sure that the Skyrunner is shaking before you run away and take care of your business. If it ain't shaking, Dr. Andonuts will basically tell you, you're an idiot, you should hit a button. And trust me, you'll feel like it when you come back after your break. You're like, oh, bloody hell. Now, after the Skyrunner sequences, the runners will be entering the final stretches over here. They have an option to grab a teddy bear, which has specific mechanics. There's a 75% chance that the enemies will attack the teddy bear instead of the party. Then they will go down. They have an opportunity to buy any additional items that they want to before fighting the Boogie Tent, which is the namesake of this particular category. And after they defeat the Boogie Tent, then they will grab the Fly Hoodie, and that's time. So we are entering the end stretches of this game, and Ultimo is on a pretty good pace at this point. I'm going to say he probably finishes about I'm going to say a mid 107.
Looks like we have a question from chat as well. So Bio, the world record is a 103.29 from Daniel RGT. And you'll see times range from maybe like a 107 to about a 130, and then 157 if you just get really unlucky as well in the run.
Deaths just can't stack time on you, and you can get a case where you just go death to death to death, and then you just have no money left. The game can rip runs on you. It really depends on the rest of Pond Cave Bionic. I just kind of set a route on 107 based off the time between finishing up the Skyrunner sequence, grabbing any additional safeties, and making it down to Boogie, because there can be spawns along the way that they have to dodge, and then getting through the Boogie Tent, which can still kill Ulti. Boogie Tent can and will still kill runners. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've definitely been there in my first race for the grouping stage, where walking behind that sign, you can get an unlucky spawn.
And Jeff can even miss with his BBR, or he can just really roll up. It's come down during the group stages where a match race was actually determined because the runner had such a low roll on their BBR, they took multiple deaths to 10, and they didn't win the race because of it. RNG can be brutal in this game.
Just like we saw right there, JT had an unfortunate death in Pond Cave, and now he has to start all the way back at Brick Road.
Ultimo getting through the tent fight.
Having Paula die is very good as well. That's less time for level ups.
It's good in the boogie percent, but not good in the glitchless. You don't want any characters to die during the bosses for the most part, outside of certain ones like Diamond Dog and stuff like that. During these early bosses, you want all of your characters alive because they need pretty much all the levels they can get.
Ulti grabs the fly hunting, and it looks like he's going to finish with an SRL time of 106.20. Congratulations to Ulti on there.
Looks like it was also a PB for Ulti. Or I don't know if that's races or total, so. I gotta say, some impressive stuttering coming from JT. Unfortunately, JTNoriMaki is getting some unfortunate spawns during this pond cave, and he's definitely trying to push his luck on some of these stutters, and I'll give him credit for trying. That takes some serious bottle rockets to go for some of these.
JT does not forego the bottle rocket. I wonder if he'll do the bear skip.
Looks like Ultimoice having some ghost fun over here. Oh no. The exact situation I was afraid of. The K-boy.
And I believe they have the second highest speed on the second visit to Winters as well.
That is, I believe, correct. Fortunately, taking a second death. K-boy spawn, surprise. Oof. Now I'll have to go through Pond Cave all over again. And Brick Road. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not grabbing something like a croissant. Just in case, but...
At least he's not going to have to deal with Bubble Monkey on this trip back.
That is true. Although he was using Bubble Monkey to get some green swirls on his way through.
Bubble Monkey useful?
Rarely, but can be. And if you are interested in learning this game, in addition, there is an emulated version out there. It's a game that I personally recommend if you use a controller. I know many runners swear by the Buffalo controller. In fact, it's one of the controllers that I should be getting in the near future.
If you want to go a different route as well, you can buy a Tomy adapter. and you can use an original SNES or Super Famicom controller as well.
Looks like JTNoriMaki got a relatively free concave this time and is going for the K-Boy run. Gets it. If you can actually outrun the K-Boys speed-wise on the overworld, you just have to get the corner on them. Because the only time they can catch you is if you're doing a diagonal movement and they're doing a straight movement. It's actually one of the few enemies that you can actually just physically outrun on the world map. A lot of the enemies are actually faster than you on the world map.
I believe it's the trees in PRV and the K-Boys.
Those are the two I know that you'll see during the Boogie percent. The issue with the trees is normally if you're going for a tree run, you're going to get pincered in PRV. Sometimes you just have to just go for it.
Risk it for the biscuit.
The neat thing about the Spy Runner is you can see a lot of the zones that you would not visit during the Boogie percent round. You'll see the desert, you'll see 4 side, and you'll see a larger portion of 3. In addition to, I believe, Dungeon Man and somebody hit the home menu. Now, as JTNoriMaki is actually going through the Skyrunner here, this is still first round of the actual tournament mode here. It is single elimination, and we've got more races coming up this weekend. We've got a couple races tomorrow, Saturday. Got one at 1 p.m. Eastern between Aurelix and Andy Perfect. We've got actually 2 races at 7 p.m. Saturday. One between Skateman and Tutelar Fiber, and another one between Hunter and who is that I see? I think Mr. B.R. Stallings is tomorrow.
No, I'm actually next week, I believe.
Oh, you're right. That's the 14th. My mistake.
I still got a week to practice. But yes, you can run it on the SNES Classic. I was the first one to do that, and I haven't heard anything yet if it was going to be removed from the category, but it looks like it's okay to use so far. What were you going to say?
Yes, we have some more races coming up this weekend.
If you guys love these EV races, Sunday is going to be packed full. I think we have 5 races.
There's a ton of races. I'm just trying to make sure I get through them all in order. So we have the 1 p.m. East tomorrow between Aurelix and Andy Perfect. Then we've got a Saturday at 7 p.m. for Skateman and Tutelar. And then Sunday, we are just Oh yeah, and we also have a 10 p.m. between Erythium and Drum Bordist. Drum Dad Call Bordist. Ooh.
What's he doing? He's not with the band right now.
Somebody's got to pack up the gear. But Sunday is the day to watch. We've got a ton of races on both Sunday and Monday.
JT got that very, very high roll on the Boogie's hand right there. That's definitely what we want to see out of Jeff every run.
Stay tuned for details on where there's going to be restreams, where to be. But Sunday, I think there's like 5 different races, and starting at, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern. So lots of stuff to watch for Earthbound Boogey Percent for the Superstar Series. A lot of these runners are trying to get in their races a little early to kind of help move along the schedule. So fortunately, congrats to JTNoriMaki for finishing his run.
Very respectable time within a sub 120 as well.
Yep. Now, this is the final race of Earthbound tonight on the Speed Gaming channels. However, all 4 Speed Gamings are just going to be jam-packed with content. Whether you like ALTTP Rando, which is going to be on both Speed Gaming 2 and 4, coming up in the next half an hour to an hour. There's Final Fantasy Rando on Speed Gaming 3, which is going to be on this channel. And there is also going to be some Super Metroid action going on Speed Gaming 1. So plenty of different races going on tonight. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Just great job, JT. Great job, Ulti. You guys did a great job. Way to stay on the run, JT, not forfeit.
Yep. Good luck to Ultimo as he moves on, and thanks for coming, JT. And you made it to the bracket round, so congratulations on that. And good luck on the rest of the tournament, Ultimo. As for myself, I want to say follow these runners, guys. These guys are experienced Earthbound runners. They're continuously grinding this stuff out. They're working hard. Follow the Speed Gaming channels. Follow BR Stallings. He's a better runner. Don't follow me because I play MMOs most of the time. I'm feeling very salty.
You should definitely follow Caillou as well.
But definitely take a look. We've got more Earthbound coming. This was just the first round of the first run of the bracket. So excited to be here. Excited to kind of commentate for this. And we'll see you guys all next time. May Tessie bless us all.
Later, everybody.